Keep It 100 is brought to you by the coronavirus, coming to a throat near you. La, 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 la. This is a quote from my haters. Yeah. You got me feeling like the greatest. Yeah. Bitch, I'm about to blow up. What's going on, world? Or nobody. Bitch, I'm about to blow up. Or most likely somewhere in between. My name is Casey Huckle, and I'm delivering to you Keep It 100. What is Keep It 100 about? Quotes. Yep, quotes. Meaning adages, truisms, figures of speech, expressions, sayings, lines, you name it. Yes, a group of words put together that are usually pithy, memorable, have meaning, sentiment. I would like to tell you that there has been a change to the show. Instead of trying to hustle 100 episodes and 100 quotes, one per episode, into a year, I've decided to extend it. I've made it about 50 quotes in a year. I didn't quite reach my deadline. Had some roadblocks in my life, but I'm going to keep on trucking and make it to 100, hopefully. I don't know. Just a healthier pace for me. I don't think of a couple quotes a week. I don't want to force anything, so I've extended the show to another year, approximately. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure you rate, review my show on iTunes if you can. Tell your friends, your grandmother, whoever. And without further ado, let's get started. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. Or in the words of the originator of the quote, Grace Hopper, it is easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. Grace Hopper was a naval officer, and maybe the first, just to be sure, it is important. This is pretty important, so I will read it off of Wikipedia. I haven't memorized it yet. Rear Admiral Grace Murray Hopper, born 1906, died 1992, was a U.S. naval officer and an early computer programmer. That's what I was trying to say. I was going to say that she's the first computer programmer, but I wasn't sure. She was the developer of the first compiler for computer programming language. At the end of her service, she was the oldest serving officer in the United States Navy. This is the first time I've heard about this lady, Grace Hopper. She sounds like a hero, like a Amelia Earhart, a Harriet Tubman. She just reminds me of a very tough, strong-minded woman from the 1900s, because she was in the Navy. But enough with the stereotypes. And back to why I picked this quote. I loved it as soon as I heard it, and I believe the first time I heard it was November 2017. I was at a wedding where my sister's best friend Sibel was getting married in Orlando, and we were supposed to be at the after party, post wedding, and one of the guys who went to dental school with my sister and Sibel was nowhere to be found. And then as I was leaving, I ran into him, and he was chatting up some girl, and I said, maybe, what are you doing? You're supposed to be over here at this bar. And he said, I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. Then the second time I heard it, it could be the third. There might be a time I was forgetting, but my memory is only so good. This guy James from Cooper Reese, I don't remember why why he said it. He might have been referring to me and not himself, but I was because I hated being trapped there at Cooper Reese. I took off and went to their farm campus, and he may have out of support from me said, "Hey, it was better to ask for forgiveness than permission," because I did not ask to leave, despite being on lockdown. Not too different from the lockdown we're experiencing now with this coronavirus. It is March 23rd, 2020, and a few states are on lockdown, and I'm grateful that Texas is not. So I think this is good because forgiveness, rather asking for forgiveness than permission, because fortune favors the bold, and life is about taking action. If you ask people for forgiveness, as Grace Hopper would agree, if you ask for permission, most of the time, I don't know, 80% of the time, 60 to 80% of the time, you're going to hear no, and you're not going to end up doing anything with your life. But if you just go ahead and take action, that's what a leader would do. That's what an alpha male would do, or female, and it forces you in a positive way, unless you experience guilt. Depends on what you did. It forces you to ask for forgiveness, and the chips have already been laid down on the table. So they must forgive you. If they love you, they'll forgive you. So that's why, without the caveat, there's the caveat if you're afraid, if you're guilty, then it's probably easier to ask for permission. And there is some discrepancy over. The way I heard it was the way I first dropped it. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. And Grace Hopper's quote is, "It's easier to." So, I actually like the quote I heard, but I wanted to give credit to the master naval officer Grace Hopper, who founded the quote. It was found in a magazine or article, 1986. So. God bless her for her service and the quote, and God bless my friend, more like my sister, or my sister's friend's friend, Sandor, for telling me the line. Anyone else who said it, and James for his undying support that I leave Cooper Reese, because there was nothing they could do, because I did it, and all they could do was forgive me. So. Yeah, I'll leave you with that and the quote. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission, or in the words of Grace Hopper, it is easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to get permission. All right, well, feel free to share this with your friends if you have any, and hopefully I'll be back soon. It just depends on when I get inspired. That reminds me, I'm not done. What prompted me? I always said in these quotes, in these episodes, what prompted me to bring, to add this quote to my repertoire of episodes. I'm blanking on why. So probably related to. It came to me. I'm thinking about getting a dog, and I told my mom, and she's like, "No, it's not the right time. You're not ready." That kind of overly protective and fearful maternal bullshit. And then what sparked in me? Go get one, and then ask for forgiveness. What is she going to say? Oh, you need to give this extremely cute and loving dog back. No, better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So. Go ahead, take action. You'll live with the result, and you won't have to worry about asking for permission, which gives most people the opportunity to say no. So don't give in to fear, but give into action and doing your best and putting your best foot forward. So those are my 2 cents, and we're just about up to 10 minutes, and I'll leave you there. Later. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me get some pimping in it. Hello, folks. Casey Huckle here one last time. Thank you for listening to my whole episode, not just half of it. I was just hoping to plug my Twitter and Instagram. They have different handles. Instagram is Keep It 100 Pod, and Twitter is Keep It 100 Podcast. You can also find my website at keepit100pod.com. And my podcast is always on, like I said before, iTunes. You can rate and review it on there. And it's also on Spreaker. You also find it on a few other vehicles, such as Spotify. Not Grindr, but it's like Grindr. It sounds like Grindr. No, but it's Slider. Is it Slider? No. Well, fuck it. iHeartRadio. I'll give you one more. Apple. Of course, it's on Apple Podcasts. But it is, unfortunately, it's not on Tidal. So I apologize. But on just about anything else is what I'm trying to say. Peace.